experiences. I always say this. Now, as I was for a brief time, I was an entrepreneur as well, and I was a research scholar. Now, the beauty is when I go to Sudhi sir with my research question, there are two specific things that after a long time, actually, I think what has helped me. Every time I used to meet him, he would ask me, can you tell me what is your objective, research objective? Now, after 2 to 3 times, this really, actually, I felt very, very uncomfortable. Why is he asking me every time this research question or research objective? Uh, and it used to happen continuously. And I also used to get confused. What was my research objective? What is it that I really want to do? And there was no clarity on my part. And whenever you used to ask him, he used to ask me, then I come back and reflect. It was a reflection. I'm honest about it. It wasn't a reflection about half an hour, 45 minutes immediately. And then sometime later, probably it comes to haunt me. What was this question? What is it that I'm trying to figure out? And that really helped me. And whenever I go to him with some kind of conviction that yes, this is how we'll do it, this is what is the methodology, this is the process, and then he used to listen very patiently and punch a hole in my argument, saying, "Well, but then how it will be done?" Then I come back again. I like you go with all the confidence that you'll be able to convince somebody, and then he punches a nice small pinhole there, and your conviction is gone, leaked. And but when I realized later on that these are the two important contributions as a guide, as a researcher. I can call him a fellow researcher. He has tremendously contributed to my research process in this way. Okay. And he even the statistics and all that, he never used to give a lot of importance on that, but he used to keep forcing me to think about that. Okay. The point that I'm trying to tell, uh, it is true for everybody. You have to ask yourself, what is it that you are going to do? Okay. Now, most of the people that I have heard now, they have said a broad area, retail management. What? Let's say artificial intelligence. What is it? I mean, what is the question in your mind? That has to be narrowed down as quickly as possible. Now, some say that, well, I will get into the question when I have done my reading. Okay. Now, there are two ways to get into it. Okay, you have a question. Okay, you have some degree of interest. You have already chosen the area. The second is you should have narrowed it sufficiently so that it is actually going to interest you for a longer period of time. Okay, that means the thought should be, it is little longer. What is it that I am going to look for, and how I'm going to do it? This is a longer process than just getting the degree. So that will keep you really interested in the process, and you will find the excitement of identifying something new, communicating something new. This is really exciting. So my request, the whole thing that I'm trying to say, that quickly get into the research question. Now, whenever you get into the question right now, or you think of a question, that will not be the final question. Okay, there will be a lot of nearby questions or add-ons you will come. But then, right now, you should have a question that you are going to investigate. For example, probably AI's application, why AI in a particular scenario, or what is it happening in the process? Okay. Now, coming back to the questions part, let us understand, or my understanding, I'll say, as a social science researcher, basically, when we are doing research, we are trying to relate few concepts. Okay. Now, let us say I'm talking about consumer behavior aspect. Okay. Let us say my information seeking behavior. Okay. How my information behavior seeking behavior is going to influence my post purchase satisfaction. Do you understand the framing of the question? We are taking two concepts very broadly and saying, well, the consumer has got a information seeking behavior, and the information seeking behavior is probably related to the post purchase satisfaction. Okay. Now, when I say this, my idea is very clear. Okay. That I'm trying to relate two things, and trying to figure out. Okay. Now, this is my very broad question. Okay. Now, somebody would put different variables into the question, say, well, how the information behavior, seeking behavior varies across, let us, demography. Okay. Is it women are more information seeking in nature? That's a tremendous question to investigate. Okay. Now, there could be a lot of literature already available. Then probably we would try to see that all the demographic patterns, okay, high income group, low income group, age, and all that. Okay. But my focus remains, or my research fundamentally remains, that my information seeking behavior and my post purchase satisfaction, how am I going to find out how it is related, how is, what is the process they get involved. Okay. Probably my information seeking behavior is at the beginning, but my post purchase satisfaction is towards the end. And then there are a lot of other processes that could be influenced by other factors. Maybe what do you call, there could be some influencers. So I start developing a model. Okay. Now, in the model, what do I mean to say is a very basic. Okay. I have my information seeking behavior. I have influence of the influencer. I have somebody else, price, other variables, marketing variables, and then I am saying that, well, my this is my post purchase satisfaction. Are you able to understand this process? You can ask me question anytime. You can let us make it little discussion oriented. So similarly, when I say Abha is trying to figure out, but what is it that you are trying to figure out? What is this AI you are talking of? Okay. Now, for example, let's say I have not studied, so I will not be able to generate a lot of question on that. But then, is AI a different compartment of human intelligence? Okay. Why the human intelligence fails, but we trust on AI? So like that, a lot of questions can come up, and probably, so basic thing I'm trying to say that you have chosen your broad area, narrow down quickly, and then while how do you narrow down? Then again, you go to your research articles and then figure out what is to be done. So you have broad understanding. Start with your broad understanding, and then probably you narrow down. You get a lot of questions, and probably you can survive with Professor Subudhi sir as a guide. Otherwise, it is really tough. You have to answer that question. What is it that interesting? Okay. I would also say one interesting thing that I remember when I took up entrepreneurship as a subject. Around 1.5 years, I was not very regular in the process. Probably about 1.5 years down the line, he told me a lot of times to write this literature review or some write up and send me. So I used to write something, and 10, 25 pages, send him. Then he would say, well, this is, can you get me some substantial write-up? I used to get confused. What is this substantial write-up? Now, one day, I picked up few articles and showed him. Then he said, well, one of these articles looks little interesting, so let us begin with. Then, in my excitement, I told him, sir, I could not understand earlier what you meant by research and all. And now I think I understand. Then he looked at me and then said, do you really? And then, then again, I got a small, nice pin puncture in my confidence. But still, yes, that's really interesting. Okay, you will have some degree of uncomfortable feel, but then that is what is going to shape your research career. It's really interesting, guys. I mean, it is always interesting to find out some question and tell how is it happening here. Okay, coming back to, you can take a very broad topic, you can of social significance, and very narrowed down as well. For example, now they are talking about acceptance of vaccines. Okay, vaccines has come up. Okay, people are taking, this is scientifically or medically tested, certified, acceptable, but there are a lot of issues there. You know, a lot of vaccines has got vested. You see the news channel, you'll see that, okay, there is a social dimension to vaccine acceptability. Okay, now people are concerned, people are not very sure about it. So is it going to determine the final outcome of vaccination in India? Okay, you go to Uttar Pradesh, the newspaper reporter says there are stories like if you take vaccine, you'll become not fertile. Okay, your sexual ability will decrease, people will die, so they are not taking vaccine. Does this question is different for different communities? So this is again on a very broad topic of social trust. Okay, now I read one interesting article which talks about the countries where the people's trust on government was higher, they had very less mortality. So the trust of the public has influences the mortality of the people. Probably true. Okay. Now we need to find out, do we have a comparative study here? What is the degree of trust? How we do all this? Okay. So you can take a very broad, interesting topic and keep on writing, improve your writing ability. Now I'm still so did I make first part of my topic was how to choose, quickly narrow down and find some interest in that. Okay, and should have degree of I mean, you should be able to answer why you are researching on that kind of area. Okay, so that is one aspect. That was my first part of the discussion.
I
Any
think
question?
Siddhartha wants to ask something. You can ask.
Sir, just on the recent vaccine example you just mentioned. So let's take it as an illustration. And how do we break it down to a further narrow topic? Say just so that all of us can, all of us having a larger, broader topic in mind.
All right.
So,
okay.
So you just mentioned an illustration. If you can further break it down to a topic, how do we form a topic out of this illustration you gave?
All right. So let us see that we are talking about vaccine. Okay. Then as a researcher, my question is, what is a vaccine? Okay. What are the characteristics of a vaccine? Okay. Vaccine is...
Braja, am I allowed to interrupt you? If you kindly
Sir.
With your permission, let's ask our fellow researcher. They are our friends at same field. Why not they suggesting or answering to Siddharth's question? That would be interesting. Then you can perhaps comment so that they participate. Abha and Naveen, is Siddharth's query clear to you, or we'll request him to repeat?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Clear.
Sir, one thought Yeah, sir. One thought which is coming to my mind immediately, if we think about how this vaccination has worked, I mean, post-vaccination has worked with different age group of people and in different geography. Like there are various brands of vaccinations. So which vaccination has caused more side effects, which has caused less side effects? That can be one area of thought.
And sir, what I understood from Siddharth's question is that how do we narrow down on topic? If the topic is related to vaccination, we can, as Braja sir told about the trust. So as government increased the dosage time for the Covishield vaccine, how does it impact the trust of Indian people who has taken first doses of vaccine? From 45 days to it has been done to 84 days. Did it impact on the trust on the government of people of India? We can narrow it down in such ways.
Good, good. Anybody else? Smriti, Avilas, Omar, would you like to have suggestion or you say pass? You have option.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That recently we had heard a news like there was some village in Odisha where people were very, I mean, afraid of this vaccine. So whenever this, I mean, government people went there for vaccination, people ran here and there because there was a rumor that if you take the vaccine, then people may die or it is causing some side effects. So as Brother Sir was pointing out, that the trust of the people over the upon the government, it is a very deciding factor in reducing the mortality rate.
Good, good. Smriti, would you like to say pass or any input?
Sir, can we take the influence of word of mouth in taking the vaccines in rural areas? Like it is, if anyone tell anything to some people, then they will motivated by that.
Wow. Wow. Siddharth, try
Sir,
to forget that you are Siddharth. You
yeah.
are XYZ, not Siddharth. Another scholar. Try to answer Siddharth's query as scholar named XYZ.
With what update I got from my fellow colleagues, I think if I frame it in a topic form, the demographic impact of vaccination in India in states, something like that.
Good, good. So, Brother Sir, with your permission, as a scholar, not as a teacher, I may be permitted to have my point as input to Siddharth's query. I'm also like a Siddharth. Say, Siddharth, again, I'm trying to answer. The issue is broadly known. We can have so many finer sub-issues or issues or questions. As you can like verify, say for example, first round, 5 of us suggested 5 topics. Even we can try with the same group of 5, 6, again it will emerge another 5, 7 kind of. So what Professor Braja sir was suggesting, it's so interesting. The variety, veracity, and also the way we can like do it, methodology kind of thing, really of interest. If you can enjoy the research, see the small issue, if you can go on thinking, you can get like scores, dozens of sub-issues in one area. Say, for example, maybe like Smriti has forgotten, say, I was perhaps hinting some issue. Brajo, I think youngsters, 18 plus kind of thing. Those who tried before 1 month, when supply was really scarce, like within minutes, it was full. Naveen, you recall? I think the slots, like you are not getting. And
Yes,
there was
sir.
like mad competition among, like, say, train ticket booking or more complex kind of thing. And it, like, say, for example, some centers, more demand, some centers, less demand. I think Naveen can give example, interesting example. People of Bhubaneswar driving away from Bhubaneswar and taking vaccine kind of, okay, just to get a slot. And some of the centers, the vaccines were wasted. I was like suggesting, Smriti, can we just have a, like queuing theory application? Okay, like the demand and what is the queue kind of thing. So it can be like mathematical model also. Okay, so depending upon your interest, strength, and feasibility, doability, you can take something interesting point. And remember, I think Brother Sir indirectly suggested, don't forget his fantastic tips. You should not forget what I am doing. Is it having some social significance? So we have options. Say, for example, now we discuss more than 7, 8 possible areas where you can do discuss on the same broad issue. But which will be interesting and which will be doable? Okay, I think Brother Sir suggested social significance. I think I like that. So which will be very interesting? When I'm talking which will be very interesting, what I'm indirectly meaning, Ava? Interesting means what? Ava then Smriti, quick.
So that has social impact.
Smriti, second part.
So there should be an interesting research questions, and it will have an
Finally, the
impact on the.
research topic project is interesting. So what? Interesting means what? What is your interest?
Sir,
It should be
sir,
relevant
it will.
to
Are
It should be research.
So what?
So it should be researchable and
Sir,
publishable.
Are come on, publishable, researchable ho gaya, research khatam. Okay,
Publishable.
interesting means it will also create interest in the publisher. It will sell like a hot cake. Suppose we are doing some research, nobody is like convinced. Brother Sir was suggesting, suppose I am not convinced, how the editor will be convinced? Okay, don't forget what you are doing. You will be very happy if it is published somewhere. Okay, sorry, Brother, I think I took some of your precious time. Over to you, sorry.
I will end with this. I'm actually overshot the time allotted, but I will end with this discussion. Let us now try to make a framework, research framework of all this. Okay, that we are talking about the vaccine. Okay, so what we are trying to discuss, our broad question is vaccine acceptability among the residents of a particular country, and how that is going to influence and the success of the program and all that. Okay, now there are a few questions. Okay, one is, what is this vaccine? Let us think from a different perspective. Okay, what are the characteristics of a vaccine? Okay, I'm not talking about, as a social scientist, I'm trying to investigate. Okay, vaccine is a new product. Okay, so I'll try to figure out what are the characteristics of a new product in the for example, you have already understood from the marketing that new product introduction. Okay, new product creation, introduction, market penetration of new product. So is vaccine similarly a new product? Okay, so I'll be able to think, well, this is a new product. Okay, now come back to again the characteristics. Let us again broadly think. Okay, now vaccine has got inherent dangers or inherent risks and inherent rewards. Okay, so how that perception of risk and rewards is influencing my decision. Okay, if you ask somebody, hello, would you take vaccine? नहीं नहीं, क्या करना है, वो वैक्सीन लेके तो मर भी जाते हैं. दो वैक्सीन लिया था, मेरा दोस्त मर गया. दो वैक्सीन लिया था, इसको हो गया. But you ask same question to somebody else, then somebody would say, well, दो वैक्सीन लिया था, हुआ था, लेकिन बच गया मैं, इतना impact नहीं हुआ. Do you understand? Everybody understands Hindi, I suppose. Now question is, well, I have a risk and reward. Okay, now, and this is a very serious risk and serious reward, life risk. Okay, now do I only consider about my own life, or do I consider my families as well? Okay, now if I am going out to my family, going out and bring things for my family, so I'm socially exposed, so is it my family also influencing me to take this vaccine or not? So is there a so I'm trying to, I'm trying to blow it up, my model, I'm blowing it up. Okay, So this is the characteristics of vaccine. Okay, does this vaccine get the trust from the country it is produced, from the lab it is produced, from the scientist it is produced? Then again, it becomes really okay. If you have seen, this debate is already there. Let us be very clear. Okay, so Pfizer vaccine, so we trust. Our own vaccine, we don't trust. The Covaxin, that country is not giving acknowledgement. Why? Okay, if scientific study of this vaccine and the test is acceptable, it should be acceptable objectively. Okay, but then again, you have to, is that a question in the people's mind? Okay, now Smriti also said word of mouth. Okay, that's definitely influencing. Okay, if a doctor tells, who are the influencers for the vaccine? Is it my sarpanch? Is it my guide? Is it my, so are there any influencers who need to be in to tell other people? Okay, can social media influences that? Okay, so now I have started developing a model about it. Okay, so emotions associated, product characteristics of vaccine, maybe information dissemination, to what extent it is influenced. Then I'll come to another characteristics of vaccine. Just now Sudhi sir said that, well, it is, if you go and try to book for the vaccine, this is not available. It is immediately exhausted. So is the supply side is making me reluctant? क्या करना है वो, चलो छोड़ो, एक महीने बाद देखते हैं क्या करना. Okay, लेने दो सबको, I will not be worried. Okay, so is the supply going to influence the vaccine demand? What happens if it is available for everybody in all the time? Okay, so this is again an interesting question about vaccine acceptability. So look, we have taken a very small thing and then blew up the characteristics, and we have now some models. Emotions is a model. Okay, those who have taken vaccine, how they have reacted to others. Okay, bukhar hua, I felt pain, I was really scared. Okay, so the intermediate, again, because it is, understand that it is not a one snapshot incident. Okay, it is a long time taking percolation gradually over a period of maybe 1 year, and then it will be successful, not successful, and all that is there. And then again, a fear factor, third wave is coming. So this, what about this third wave? Okay, so there could be some fear that, well, chalo le lete hain, third wave aa raha hai, there could be some problem. Okay, so we have now established, we have taken a broad topic and we have dismantled the topic into different sub concepts, and then trying to find out which is going to influence the other. And if this is going to influence the other, then are there anything which is influencing in between their relationship? So I have two relationships, and then I'm trying to figure out, being a let's say gender is going to influence that. Okay, my wife would take a vaccine when I push her. Okay, or I take her out. Okay, she would not do it independently. So probably if I take an influence, so there is a influence in between. So like this, I have developed a conceptual model that, well, vaccine is this kind of acceptability of vaccine is related to these factors. Okay, and once I have that broad model, then I'm trying to understand, how do I get this data and how do I analyze this? Okay, is it, what kind of statistics I'll apply, what would happen, what is the other thing has been applied elsewhere? And then with all this, finally probably I'm going to say, hello, if you create some way, okay, a social influencer, probably the acceptability of vaccine would be improved, or the confidence on the vaccine would be improved. Okay, so all this counts. Those who have taken at least one vaccine, they would know that going to the vaccine center itself is scary. Okay, people would say, okay, I went and I got infected. Okay, So all this,
I have to interrupt you. So sorry,
sir,
dear.
sir, it's already time, sir.
No, it's okay. Actually, you did really wonder by giving very briefly, succinctly, how to start research, given a particular topic, broad topic, how to narrow it down. Actually, I had more demand from you. So, like particularly using Word for development.
Sir.
Will it be possible to have a
Sure, sir. Briefly, I can discuss.
quick discussion for 5-7 minutes today, and we can take it up in another session or 10.
I think it will take some time, sir. At least 10-15 minutes.
15 minutes.
Yeah. So I hope I am not disturbing the schedule, sir.
Oh, no. We are eagerly waiting.
So now we'll come to, you have conceptual clarity, what you are going to do. Then now you have to put it down into your paper. Okay. The word and all that. Okay. So now you think of a structure of the paper, what I am going to talk about. Okay. There are some structures suggested by different journals. You have read a lot of articles, you have understood the structure. So you put down, I do it like this, that I put down first broad headings. Okay. My introduction, my literature review, my gap, and my methodology, and my discussion, my conclusion, my limitations, everything I put it down. And in fact, this is a parallel work. Okay. So once I have put down, then my question is, what do I write my first sentence? Okay. And how do I present my logic? Okay. Now, this should be a smooth read. Let's be very clear. Nobody is, and why this doesn't become a smooth read is because when we do a literature review, we give random words or some words related to our literature, and then do a find out the articles. And when we find or read those articles, okay, we read partially or fully or whatever, then we try to understand and take some few thoughts out of this article. Okay, and then we have to write it down. Now, point number one, when you read an article, whatever thought has come to your mind, write it on your draft article then and there, and give the reference then and there. Okay, because it is very difficult that you can go back to the same article again subsequently. Okay, so you have read an article, okay, and then you got some points out of that. Okay, you thought these are important points for my literature. Put the writing then and there, give the reference then and there. Okay, and when you do this for continuously, let us say 50 articles, now you have not got these articles as per your flow of thought. Am I clear?
Yes,
You just queried it, article came, you started reading, you started noting it down, but you have a flow of thought of research in your mind. Okay, the articles are not according to your flow of thought. Now you have to arrange those as per your flow of thought. That's one of the most difficult activities. I don't know how to do it, but coming back to this point, I will stop it here, and I'll give you show you something, how to, sir, can I, yeah, let us say, I hope all of you know this APA and all that. APA referencing style, you have some clarity on this?
Please respond. Naveen, Smriti, you are not answering.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
yes, sir.
All right, fair enough. So this is a reference style. There are many reference styles, and usually we go for APA style. though other journals, the different journals have their own different style. Okay. My screen is visible.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
What is written there?
Google Scholar.
Google
Google
Scholar.
Okay, very good.
Yeah.
So let us say I'm doing vaccine acceptability, acceptance or acceptability. Now I got this. You see, we just discussed, and then there are guys who have already done it. Now, you see this psychosocial aspects of vaccine acceptability.
Yes, sir.
All right. Now let us see when this was done. 2006. Not now.
Yes, sir.
All right. Now this is cited by 234.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
No.
Now let's see what it shows. Are you able to see this screen?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
All
Yes,
right.
sir.
So I see chapter 24, psychological aspects, and then I see this raised with a human papilloma virus, HPV vaccination. Okay, this is important to understand. And many women many women and physicians have relatively poor knowledge. Okay, so this is important to understand. So I get a clarity, or I get a clarity that I need to include doctors in my, or physicians in my sample, because this research already has physicians. Then healthcare providers, parents, yeah, parents are there. Concerns about post-vaccination sexual behavior, yeah, you see this. Now,
Yes.
in Uttar Pradesh, when a villager says after taking the vaccine, your sexual or libido performance should be poor. Now, notice this. This is not uncommon. Okay, HPV virus, sexual behavior change, so do not appear to be justified. Blah blah. So human state, other this more psychological. You see the psychosocial research regarding HPV vaccination. So this is my justification of doing a vaccine research or vaccine acceptability research in India. So what I have got from this article, I have got, okay, what I take as sample. So I take doctors also, poor knowledge. So I need to test the level of knowledge of people on vaccination. Then parents, I do ask parents. So there is a social group which is our family members. And then sexual behavior, if I have not asked about or I didn't think about it, so I have to put this. So now I have got few ideas about this, just reading the abstract. Okay. Ideally, you should read the whole thing, how the methodology was done and all that. But let us work on this right now. Okay. Now, if I take this, do you see my Word file now? No.
No,
No,
sir.
sir.
No. Okay. So what I do is, okay, I'll show it something here and then switch over. Now notice that I have my this link. Okay, this already gives me some style of citation.
Yes, sir.
Understood? So if this gives me a style of citation, I took this APA, copy it, put it to my Word file. Okay, and in text, when I'm writing my text, how do I do it? I'll show you here. Okay. Now, what do I do? I stop sharing. Uh, Stop sharing. Then,
You can share Word file.
yes, sir. You are able to see my Word file now?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Let's write something. Okay. Let us say I'm trying to make my first statement. Okay. Concerns support vaccine acceptability research. It's not the best statement earlier. Okay, but let me say this. Okay, so when I do this, I go to my this thing and this is the rudimentary way I'm trying to show you. So I have mine this, and then I say this is 2006. If I understand a little bit about how this is done, so I delete all this. Okay, so I have my first citation here. I have my reference here, and then I start building up like this. Okay, this is the what do you call the
In text.
manual way. Okay, this is my in-text reference. Okay, and this is my references or okay, so this is my one. I add the second line. I have my second line from the literature, and then I put here. Okay, now I need to take care that I should have the basic understanding that okay, when I give references in APA style, it follows a alphabetical order. Okay, so like that I will start doing it. Okay, now this is manual way, but unfortunately the APA references style and all that are so difficult to remember many times. For example, somebody can ask me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yes,
So,
more than 3 authors at all we have to use.
who responded that?
Sir, this is Naveen, sir.
Naveen says more than 3 at all. But then if you understand this APA 7 style, which has come in 2019, where it says from the very beginning, you can start with et al. And all that. So my suggestion is you should automate this kind of what do you call referencing. So how do you automate this referencing? There are a lot of softwares. You must use one software. Do not think at this point of time that you can. Had I known this earlier, my productivity would have gone up. Use a software to do your writing. Okay, I'll show you how do I use a software. I'll just show. You can always install a software, Jotero, Mendeley. These two I know of. There are many of them. So I use Mendeley, and I'll show you how do you do a Mendeley citation. Okay, sir, it is almost time, sir.
No, we are actually enjoying, and I hope my scholars are benefiting.
Sir, please continue. Sir, please continue.
Okay. So,
Abha, if you have got urgent work, you may leave. Those who have got urgent work, they may leave. Others should continue.
Yes, sir.
Okay, sir.
Okay. So this is my manual method. After telling you that manual method, I am also saying that there are too many rules, and you cannot really remember all of them, or even if you remember, you cannot really do it. So you should go for automation. There are citation softwares. So Jotero, Mendeley, you can download Mendeley. You have to open an account and try to do that. Okay, I'll show you very briefly how do I do it in Mendeley. Okay, I'll stop there here, and then again I'll share and okay, yeah, okay. Now you can see that psychosocial aspects of vaccine acceptability. I want to do a referencing. I have gone to the site, and then and the top right, you can read that there's a red thing, Mendeley Web Importer. Are you able to see this?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, when I do
Yes,
this
sir.
Mendeley Web Importer, it shows me to sign in because it's asking me because I have already installed it. So I have done this.
By the time Professor continues, I will be just repeating what Professor was suggesting. Actually, we were not knowing earlier. When the Western world researchers were doing, we like now feel we should have done it. And it would have been like added some like efficiency. Okay, so the purpose of inviting Professor for this is like you start better. Okay, what Professor had not done as a scholar, you do it in a better platform. Navin, am I making sense?
Yes, sir. Completely.
Avilas, this is for you. Avilas,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Omar, for you also.
Sure.
Yes.
So notice that the Mendeley has already taken this journal article. The journal is vaccine, and it has taken this. And if I want to see what it is trying to import, I can see that it is a journal article, chapter, authors, vaccine. It has already taken all of them, month, day. Abstract is also taken. So all this is there, and DOI is captured. So I don't need to bother about all this information. And so what I do, but please understand at this point of time, there sometimes in few of the cases it can take or import incorrect information. So you should check. Okay. So now I have a folder here. Okay, and I have many folders. My collections: cognition, conflict, COVID, entrepreneurship. So I have different folders, and for this purpose, I'm trying to import this article reference to IMC 2020 folder. Okay, so I do add it here. Okay, is this clear so far?
Yes, sir. But
Yes, sir.
one thing, sir,
Yes, sir.
how do we create a folder?
Don't worry about that. When you install Mendeley, please download and install Mendeley and play around it for 1 hour. You'll understand that. Okay, you can create a folder. Is that clear?
Okay, sir.
All right. So
Yes.
I have imported this to my folder, and in the Mendeley, so it has come to my Mendeley folder. You can see also some kind of documentation. What do you call that? From YouTube and all. So this is my document has come. Now I will show you how this is happening in my Word file now. Okay. So, I'll go to my Word file. Uh, um, again, Word file. Yeah. So we are now at our Word file. Are you able to see this?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
All
sir.
right.
Yes, sir.
So now I want to write something, vaccine acceptability. Okay, so I want to do a insert, references. And when I install Mendeley, I will get this part. Okay, are you able to see this
Yes,
part?
sir. Yes, sir.
Insert citation. Now notice that this insert citations are there in two groups, and this insert citation rightmost. Are you able to see the rightmost?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
This comes along with your Word, Microsoft Word. But I will not use this because this is my little cumbersome. I'll have to do manually everything. Okay. This is not importing the citations automatically, so I don't use this. Okay. So here, if you notice this insert citation, and it gives me this, and I'm trying to look for my specific library. Am I going to get that? So this is, I say insert citation, and what was it? Chapter 24, if I remember something.
Yes, sir.
Chapter.
Physio-social.
Okay. So notice that it has already come. Okay. So I have lot of references, but this has come. So so I have done this. Now notice it has put Gimlet et al. 2006. Is it clear?
Can you please repeat it, delete it and do it again?
What I have done is I showed you that how I have imported the information from the article to my Mendeley. Okay, I did a import or save, and it has come to my Mendeley. This Mendeley software, when I go to reference my Word file, insert citation, then I'm trying to refer that particular article. So I search for that article.
Sir, actually, I think the pop-up window is not visible to us because of the limited screen sharing. So we are not able to see that Mendeley
Yes,
pop-up.
Oh, you are not able to.
But I can see, Naveen. Shruti, can you see?
No, sir.
No, sir. No, sir.
We are able to see the Word document, but after you click on insert
Are
citation,
you able
there
to
is a
see
pop-up.
vaccine acceptability?
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
That is able.
Just the side there is a pop-up window. Are you able to see this?
No, sir.
No, sir.
No.
Okay, okay, okay. Fair enough. So I say insert citation. I don't know how do I share this.
Sir, actually, you have said only the Word file. If you will set the entire screen, then maybe we will able to see it.
So do I have a